So you're stuck in like a unit with people who you can't speak English to, you can't speak Hebrew to, and then you're being yelled at by your commanders to like run here, run there. So they would.
Did you understand what your commanders were
I mean,
saying?
it took me a bit, no, because I didn't speak Hebrew, and they won't speak to you in English because the language of the Army is Hebrew. And so there were just times where like, you know, it's 5 a.m. They woke us up from our beds and we're all standing there. You know, you have your weapons and everything, and it's like dark as shit, and they're like yelling at you in a foreign language, but then everybody in your unit also doesn't speak the language, and they're yelling at you to get into formation, but you don't know what they're saying, so you have like 12 girls running into 12 different directions. And just like the commanders would like turn around and they would start laughing because they can't show that they have like any kind of like personality, you know.
Interesting.
So just like really funny shit like that. Or they would like tie our water bottles together, and then they would tell us to do different running exercises, and then we'd all be tied together and like fall over, just like they would fuck with us. So it was definitely like good times and funny when I look back on it, but I wouldn't go back right now if I could.
Oh, absolutely not. How long were you in the Army for?
A year and a half.
A year and a half.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Did you have the choice to leave, or?
So I did like volunteering. Technically, if I would have been like, if I wanted to get my citizenship as a combat soldier as a female, you have to serve 3 years. But since I just volunteered, it was just a year and a half.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. I mean, I could have done longer, I guess, but I'm happy with what I did.
Yeah, like you definitely had your run.
It was enough.
there.
It was enough. A year and a half is definitely enough.
Do you feel like being in the Army had any impact on like your sense of humor now? Because it's like you've been through this trauma, and now you just need the humor to cope.
You know, definitely, but it also makes it harder because I feel like it's hard for me to relate to people. That was like the biggest thing with getting out of the Army was people didn't understand. They didn't know what you went through. Like it was hard to connect to people, and you build this community when you're on the Army, and it's just hard to like find other people that have been through similar experiences.
Yeah.
So that was definitely difficult for me. But yeah, I mean, I'm definitely like when we got here and one of the girls was complaining about where she had to sleep, I was just thinking in my head like, bitch, I would sleep on a fucking air mattress. I don't give a shit, you know, like compared to other things I've had to do when I didn't have that choice. You know, it just made me much more like
grateful for the
like,
opportunities
and just open and just like going with the flow and, you know, not taking life too seriously because you just can't.
No. When you
I'm
take
sure
like,
you know, right?
Oh yeah, like I mean, this is a lot different, I feel like, but like when I was in rehab.
Yeah.
And by the way, for those who don't know why I was in rehab, my parents sent me away for weed. And I didn't even
like
smoke.
everybody in my high school.
Yeah. I literally didn't even smoke that often, but they put me in a bunk. Like I had.
Did they like come into your house in the middle of the night and like take you out of your bed, or was it like willingly you went?
No, I didn't willingly go. I got like security guards came into my house.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Were you like holding onto the door as like somebody was carrying you out?
Well, no, because they were like, if you run, we'll catch you. And I was just like not about to fight my way. Like they were two hefty people. Like
I can imagine.
I was just like, all right, I'm going.
Fuck this. How long was it that you were there?
7 months.
Holy shit.
And like
for weed?
Yeah, for weed. The first place, it was a bunk bed where like there would be like screaming girls in the middle of the night. And the second place I went to, my parents sent me to do 2 different places, but like there was a girl who peed the bed who like.
I hope you weren't on the bottom.
I was on the bottom.
Oh my God, girl.
So what I did is I slept on the floor, like, but it did give me an appreciation of things for, you know, when I.
And like you were saying earlier, you're saying like, well, it might not be like the Army, but it's true. When you're in rehab, you have a set schedule, like you don't have control over everything. And that was something that I don't know if it was hard for you, but when I got out of the Army, I was like, holy fuck, I got to decide when I'm eating. I need to like decide when I'm going to shower. Like I have to make my own decisions now, you know, it's not like.
Oh so. Yeah, it's like, it's a tough transition, I think, back to reality because it's like, it was like for you too, because you said that it was hard for you to like connect with people after. Like it was hard because like no one necessarily went through the trauma of having that happen in your life. It's like I felt like I was forgetting who I was. I didn't know what I wanted to do, who I wanted to be, because it just took so much out of me.
So I know this is your podcast, but I'm curious to know, do you feel like A, you're happy that you went to rehab? And second of all, do you keep in touch with anybody when you were there?
Yeah, I actually keep in touch with quite a few people from when I was there. Yeah. And the only reason I would say like I am glad I went is because I know that I was going to make a lot different life choices if I hadn't gone.
Like, weed is the gateway drug.
It is the gateway. Not even for that, but like my choice of college changed when I went to a rehab, like because I couldn't apply to the colleges I wanted to go to on time. And then it taught me that like I do have a strong work ethic, and because I wanted so badly to get out of there, I was working all day every day to graduate early, because I'm like, oh, my parents will let me come home, but they didn't. You know.